Welcome to my nation, the place where more than half the population have no occupation. In a world ranking, we will be on relegation. Notwithstanding the situation, the media finds delight in feeding the public with the wrong information. In this nation, politicians make the most gain, while little kids are dying in pain. Out of hunger, cause their parents couldn't provide cereal and grain, which is driving them insane. And who is to be blamed? Is it the government or a selfish gain? Allow me to be a bit lame. Who is the government? Is it the gentleman that occupies the state house with his cabinet? Or it is you and I who can boast of a cent after tax, utility bills, fuel and rent? I am not here to start a nationwide debate, but I think it is time we deliberate. Is it just me or the world economy is so popular that even the uneducated can relate? Personally, I think it doesn't discriminate. Cause whether you're a citizen or an expatriate, educated or an illiterate, the states of a nation affect you irrespective of your religion and race, especially when the only thing the currency does is to depreciate. Times are hard, everything is scarce, even patriotism is hard to find. The last I checked, Ignatius Gezi now represents Holland in athletics. Do I need to go over the arithmetic? The Black Stars played for $3 million instead of their country and ethics. Isn't that pathetic? I've been trying hard to get my head around this logic. Then it brings me back to the fact that prices are high, while some politicians are lies. The youths are committing crime, I see it every day on prime time. Do you still want to blame the vote you cast that time? Listen, we can occupy all day long, but whether we like it or not, the red and black we wear to mourn wouldn't change a thing or more. Cause I used to think that life had a plan for me until I realized that it has to be planned by me. So I gave it a further thought that same evening. Mother Teresa said, I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the waters to create many ripples. So for a moment, forget about your pimple. Do not waste time on makeup just because you want to cover your wrinkle. The president alone cannot make life better for the people, when the people cannot make life better for themselves for just a twinkle. Let me give you an example. I used to work in the public sector, where I noticed that employees prefer to arrive late, content to just stay, sit around and gossip with their mates, staring at the clock hoping it's 3:48 because they can't wait, and leave after 5, which is the appropriate. They keep blaming the system, even when they have no appraisal system, because the civil servant only feels the heat in his system in his late 50s, soon to retire at the age of 60. The aftermath is just a pity. The youths live their life like they owe nothing to the city, yet they have the guts to complain about the dollar and the city. The irony. But it's no longer funny, because day in and day out I ask myself, is it some kind of prophecy or analogy that today's generation prefer to be lazy rather than to be creative? They will choose all odds over the alternative of being proactive and productive. You will hear them say things like, I can't do this job because it's not lucrative. I prefer to be in suit because that looks more attractive. Don't be naive is what I told Steve, because it saddens my heart to see great minds being held captive. Do not get me wrong, but these jobs will still come with incentives. It just wouldn't make it effective, like this country's detectives. I don't mean to be offensive. This is just me being objective. Wait, let me tell you something you don't know, or better still, something you already know. These policymakers and these rulers will only fight for their own. They don't care about you and your home. So do not put your dreams on hold. Fight for the things that you want to own, because there's no room for you to occupy. The only room you have is when you are occupied. He who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right. It is up to you to decide which one is life. You're solely responsible for the life you want to live. So do not blame the system, the government, or anyone that your life is crap now because he or she did not make it their favorite one. The biggest enemy you would have to deal with is yourself and no one. Because there is an African proverb that says, if there is no enemy within, the enemy without can do us no harm. God bless.
Welcome.